I think another thing is when you're remote working, like there are so many hot desking spaces available across the country now. And even though with hot desking spaces, it might not be with your company, usually the people that are hot desking are there for a reason and also want to get that sort of face to face. So even though they might not be part of your business, maybe saying to your company, would you cover the cost for me to hot desk in a WeWork, a Runway East or something similar for one day a week or something. So even though they're not the people that you're surrounded with might not work with you at the same company, like our hot desking space is full of developers who work for either a smaller business or their business have decided to shut down their office but still want to continue having that human interaction. So even though they don't work for you, people are nice, and they're, I'm sure, like the hot deskers, we call them, are always out and about chatting, and have built a really good relationship just with people that are doing something similar but maybe for a different company. So
you're still getting those like informal chats over a cup of tea in the kitchen and that sort of
and
thing.
it could be something completely different. Like one might be a .NET developer, the other JavaScript developer. It's not to say you can't have those discussions and with different people as well. So I know a few companies like that I work with have very much done that and offering to pay for a hot desking space like one day a week. So
okay, yeah, I think that's something that I need to suggest for sure. Yeah.
Just following on from that, I don't know if you can hear me. Like, do you try to do your hot desking from in a space where you'd have similar, so say coders, or do you just go for any environment?
I mean, I think in terms of like where our office is, we're in Runway East. I'm Bristol, and I know there's a few in London. So, I mean, yeah, they could. I don't know how you'd find like a specific hot desking space just full of developers. I'm sure there is one, but it could be anyone from marketing to developers to someone doing PR. I don't know how you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could find, if you like posted something on Slack channels like locally to you, you'd be able to find some place where all developers who are doing similar sort of come together. But predominantly ours is developers.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, just wondering if people if anyone's ever done that, if they had like a preference of being around similar role types, or just you just want to be with people.
I think it's go ahead, Tim.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I started a job a couple months ago, so like haven't actually met the people that I work with every day. Still, it's weird. But I've been thinking about how to sort of simulate the water cooler conversations in a remote environment, or even the sort of conversations where you overhear people talking near your desk in like an open space. And one thing that comes to mind is a kind of interesting analog. When I was younger, a kid, I guess I was part of like an online gaming group for a handful of years. That was like a few hundred people or something. And it's a bit of a nerd. We had a voice chat server. It was called TeamSpeak, but it wasn't video or anything, but it was, people would hang out there. It was really interesting, like at the weekends or the evenings or something like that. People would just sort of sit in the channel with their group of the people that they play the game with. And, you know, some of them might be playing a game, some of them might be doing some work or something like that, but they would just sort of chit chat, and no pressure to join the conversation. You can mute yourself, mute the others, or that sort of thing. And that's a big contrast, I think, to like Zoom meetings, where even like catching up and having a happy hour with your mates or something feels a bit like having a happy hour in the company conference room, you know? So I was just
definitely.
I wonder what the sort of analog of that is, but that might be something if you're just sort of hanging out whilst you're working. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, like a Discord sort of voice channel for colleagues or something. That might be quite nice, yeah.
Right.
I actually helped to move my company over from Slack to Discord when we started during lockdown because of that very reason. Because it's a lot easier, I think, like you said, about when you want to ask someone a quick question, it feels a lot more intrusive when you have to like open up a Zoom call to just ask them a quick question. But if you have a voice channel, you can be like, oh, can you just pop into this channel? And you just go in and you chat, and then it's a lot less intrusive. And also we have a specific channel called Chit Chat. So if you're in the mood to like work, but also have a chat out or listen to people having a chat, you can just sit in that channel and work away. I know it's not like always possible to just move your company over to a new system. We're very small. We've only got 5 people, so it's a bit easier for us, but it's definitely a lot more helpful. And we have a channel that's like cute animal photos that we just share cute animal photos. We have a channel which is good news where we only show good news stories because I think that's quite important in this current state. But yeah, it's been really helpful.
I was going to suggest something else which has happened kind of indirectly, but for me, I've expanded my network within my company quite a bit through sort of other interest groups and things. You know, so when you get in bigger organisations, you get sort of you know, kind of networking groups relating to certain things. And of course, one of the things that happened recently was the Black Lives Matter thing, and that kind of caused a big kind of flurry of activity. And you know, I was then involved in so many more groups and getting to meet so many more people that it was just like, you know, it's really excellent just meeting so many more people from just through something like that. So it's like, you know, it's really good to you know, it's another way of kind of meeting people and discussing things, and you know, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, still expanding your sort of social horizons as well. Yeah, it's really important.
I have 3 questions actually. The first is for junior developers. Have you felt the need to kind of over communicate when you moved into kind of a lockdown type setup? For the senior developer here, or more senior, I guess, have you been consciously been aware that you have to over communicate if you've actually taken or onboarded new kind of junior developer, and just in general, do you think that, you know, having kind of threads like Slack or Microsoft Team, for those who work on Microsoft Team, is still kind of a limitation compared to just you know, chit-chatting all the time?
Yeah, so as a CTO, there's a couple of things I've been doing. Well, CTO is a big name when you're a company of 5 people, but anyway. The first thing is I've been using the daily stand-ups as a way to try to spot when someone has an issue and then immediately suggest that we have a chat, or it could be just a design issue on a piece of code or something, or there's a blocker that they haven't quite explicitly verbalized, but that is still there. And the other thing I've been trying to do is to get some of the senior, one of our senior developers to work with the juniors more closely to do that sort of thing. So I don't know how well it's working. I need to find a way to work that out. But yeah.
Is that like pair programming more, or just making sure there's more discussion, more regular discussion?
No, it's more about sharing the work that they have to do, so that they expand a bit what they're doing, and they don't end up working in isolation. One thing that I found worked as well was to make sure you specify a bit better the things that you expect the juniors to do, so that they're not lost about what should I do next. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's not easy. The other idea I had, which I haven't put into practice, and I'm just putting it out there just as a suggestion, one possibility was to use code reviews as well, but the other way around. So when you've got a senior who has done an update on some piece of code, get a junior to review it, not, but just to learn, just to see what they've done and to ask questions. And I don't know if that would be useful, but.
Yeah, well, I definitely flagged something with my colleagues this week that there was a ticket that I was supposed to work on and I just didn't know where to begin. So I had to flag that, and I said, I think I'd find it useful to see how someone else would approach it. You know, even if that's just like watching and someone can talk me through their process. So then next time I might have a better idea. Yeah, so that was a bit of a initial miscommunication issue, but I think I think it helped, and a colleague reached out and said, "Oh, I'm about to work on this thing. Do you want to watch?" So that was really helpful.
So I'm now the developer, but I'm working on an iOS app at the moment with 5 other developers, and I review all the PRs of my lead, and obviously my lead is reviewing my PRs as well. But he's making like a hardcore rule to kind of have me to review his PR, even though I'm like not a developer yet, kind of thing. But I think for juniors, I think it helps a lot.
Yeah, that's good. Good plan. Yeah. Has anyone else got anything that's that they've experienced or that is concerning them maybe?
How have you guys been able to sort of navigate casual social interactions with people from groups you wouldn't otherwise socialize with? So a lot of the people at my company are sort of all in the same social groups. And I have sort of come in relatively new again, just before lockdown, and haven't really been able to make those kinds of connections yet. But like using online things doesn't really seem to be appealing to them. So they don't really necessarily seem super keen on online meetups or sort of, I guess, virtual hangout sessions. I was wondering if any of you guys have been able to navigate that or sort of get to know a wider range of people who don't necessarily feel super excited by virtual hangout groups and stuff.
Do you mean in the context of work or just in general?
Mostly work, actually. A lot of the people, I think, don't necessarily, me included, I think, aren't necessarily super excited by the idea of stopping work to have a formal social interaction session halfway through the day. So we actually started doing something similar to what Helen mentioned about having like a second stand-up, like a social second stand-up, but people stopped going because they didn't really have anything to say. And you know, sometimes it's 1 or 2 people, and it's just from one team, not from the whole company. And so that sort of social side has kind of died down a bit. But I think I really love the idea of that sort of casual voice chat socializing. I think something like that would be really, really great. But we use Teams and don't really have that kind of functionality. I was wondering if anyone else has got anything else that they've seen effective or useful or anything. Yeah,
so I work in an investment team, so nothing to do with technology, but most of my team is actually in Seattle, and every Friday we just organizing drinks, like Zoom call, and we're just having drinks for the team globally, and it's been done every single Friday after London working hours. And I think having that consistently was quite good. I don't know how much frequency you would need in terms of having those casual kind of interactions, but we do that on a weekly basis, basically.
Does everybody turn up? Like, has attendance fallen over time, or is everybody still keen to do it?
Actually, it was quite bad at the beginning because people were like, you know, it's going to last 2 to 3 months max, and then we're going to go back to the office. And then as we got longer and longer working from home, I think a lot more people turned up, kids turned up, dogs were showing up as well. So it was it became quite of a thing now.
Nice. And then you get to learn more about people when you meet their kids and dogs, don't you? And
yeah, I mean, we have the advantage of having to have like met each other in real life, even for people who are kind of overseas, so that makes things easy for a lot of that interaction.
I was just going to say, sometimes with these kind of sort of social meetings online, you have to appreciate a little bit of kind of the motivations and people's situations. And so sometimes it's just that these things are just kind of, they're not very flexible for them. You know, it's like they maybe can't make those because they've got to go and pick up the kids or something. Or so it might be worth thinking about it in terms of like trying a range of different things at different times. Like I know, I think our Women in STEM group, they organise coffee mornings, and it just kind of brings in a different crowd of people, and you know, and that's different from sort of I think my team runs a virtual beers, which on a Friday afternoon, like Mike's team, and maybe not at the global level, but just within the team, and you know, so yeah, a few people turn up, but it varies greatly because by the end of the week, most people are just knackered and just want to switch off. So sometimes, you know, the Zoom calls have been in so many meetings and things, they don't want to sit in a Zoom call and so there are barriers like that maybe just, you know, maybe just experiment with trying to find other times and places that work better for them.
yeah, definitely. I think it's got to be okay sometimes to use a bit of work time, you know, like in the morning or something, to do some social things as well, for sure.
Yeah.
So
I was just going to say,
we've got 1 minute left. Anwen, do you want to wrap up?
I can do it. Jordan, did you want to say something quickly?
I just wanted to say I sympathise definitely with not necessarily wanting to spend free time doing work socialising. I want to spend free time socialising with my friends, not necessarily my colleagues. So I definitely get that. But yeah, got to find time during the workday for it.
Yeah, you've got to try and convince them that it's worthwhile, I suppose, don't you? But
Yeah.
I think you'd be surprised. I think more people would be up for it than just you. I hope.
I hope so too.
Yeah, I'm sure people are feeling the same thing, but just, you know, a bit afraid to be the first one to express it, maybe. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much for everyone. Sorry about the Zoom issues to begin with, so it cut us short a little bit. But yeah, I think it's really helped me chatting to you all and getting some different ideas. So hopefully we all feel not so alone anymore. Yeah, thank you.
One last tip for those who actually want to trigger those interaction: organizing quizzes is pretty good with your teams and stuff like that. So go ahead, organize that, and then it allows for like more casual chat during and after that.
Nice.
Online games as well is another good one, like Codenames have a really good online version.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
If anyone's got
face painting,
we should share them, or if anyone's got any good quiz questions, any like pre-prepared quizzes, like please share them. Put them in the Slack channel.
Did someone else share another one then?
Oh yeah, just it's Alicia. Sorry, I turned my video off because I was having a sneezing fit. Face painting. So tell all your team to face paint your best animal, and then all of a sudden Zoom starts, and you're all, one of you is a giraffe, one of you is a monkey,
That's
one
good.
of you is a clown. It was fun. It was funny.
I like that a lot. And what's the other one from Holly? Garctic.
It's a drawing game. We should collect
like
these
Pictionary.
and we'll collect them, and I'll put them on our Slack.
Yeah,
yeah, we definitely should. These are good ideas. Drawasaurus as well. Is that a
yeah, that's so
online
good.
Pictionary thing.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Codenames. That's cool as well.
Yeah, because the chat disappears after the call finishes.
Yeah.
So make a note of any URLs or things.
Okay, wonderful. Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, let's get together a repository of fun things to do to try and break that ice with our remote teams. Yeah, cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Bye, guys.